Corn snake or ball python? Good morning, Reptilians. Welcome back to my channel. This week we are joined by Sylvanas, who on this rare occasion has let me hold her. So we'll be hanging out with her while we compare corn snakes to ball pythons. So as you can tell, this is going to be a video just like the last one where I compared blue-tongued skinks and bearded dragons, but with two of the most popular pet snakes in existence, the corn snake and the ball python. I thought that it would be a cool video just because these are the two snakes that a lot of people will compare when they're looking at getting their very first snake. Just like last time, I'm not going to tell you which one to get. I am simply comparing two very common species of snakes so that you can decide which animal is best for you. With that being said though, last time you guys wanted more of my personal opinions on things, so I will try to sprinkle those in the categories as we go and let you know kind of what I prefer in certain things. So that way you're getting more of my personal opinions on everything without me telling you what to get. And just remember, all reptiles have their own personalities. So just because my animals are a certain way doesn't mean that when you get your animal, it's going to be the same way. They all have their own little personalities. While most ball pythons are super sweet, you may end up getting one that is kind of puffy. And also know that I am in no way, shape, or form an expert. I just own some animals and like to make videos about them. So let's get to the video. Let's start with price and availability. They are actually very similar in prices. They're gonna range for about $25 at pet expos from breeders, and they can get very pricey because there are so many different morphs of both of these animals, meaning that they get very expensive, so keep that in mind. But about $25 is the lowest possible price that you are gonna pay for either one of them. They are also both very widely available. That is one of the reasons that they are both super popular pets. It's because you can literally get them anywhere and everywhere. You can get them directly from breeders, places like Facebook. You can go to Morph Market that will have all the morphs of them. You can get them at pet expos. You could even get them at local chain pet stores, which again, I do not support buying from chain pet stores. You can also get them from family-owned pet stores. Anywhere that sells reptiles are either going to sell one or both of these snakes. Just some basic info about each of these creatures. Ball pythons are going to be nocturnal, meaning that they are going to be the most active at night, whereas corn snakes are crepuscular, so they are most active during the dawn and dusk. I have found that in captivity, my corn snake is active all day. He doesn't really do the whole dawn and dusk thing, and I found that to be the case with a lot of people that own corn snakes. They like to be out during the day. So if you want a snake that you're going to be able to watch explore during the day, then you're probably going to lean more towards corn snake for this one. And if you are a night owl or you don't mind only seeing your animals at night, then ball pythons are the way to go. A ball python is going to get 3 to 5 feet and live over 30 years, and they are definitely a heavy-bodied, heavier snake than a corn snake. Corn snakes are going to get about 4 to 5.5 foot and live on average up to about 20 years. In terms of handling, they are a little bit different. So the ball python is a more heavy-bodied snake. They are thicker and they don't really move as much. She's moving a lot right now, which is crazy because usually when I hold her, she stiffens up. But they are not going to move anywhere near as much as a corn snake would. Corn snakes move non-stop. When you hold them, they are just super active. They are going to come out and want to explore, where ball pythons just kind of hang out with you. Corn snakes are more of let's go somewhere, let's go explore. So that's just going to depend on what you want. Are you going to want a snake that is going to just hang out on you all day, or are you going to want a snake that you hold and wants to move and explore? Personally, I prefer handling ball pythons because I love that they are a heavy-bodied snake and I love that they are pretty calm. Corn snakes are super thin and they feel almost fragile to me, and they just want to move. So I actually prefer handling ball pythons over corn snakes, but again, that's personal preference. Both of these snakes are going to be ones that tolerate handling very well, and a lot of them seem to actually enjoy it. I know Sterling, my other ball python, will literally poke at the top of his tank until you get him out because he wants to be out. So other than when they're babies and both can be a little snippy, as they get older, they're going to tolerate handling very well. Moving into caring for these guys, their care is actually pretty different. Ball pythons love humidity. A lot of times they're actually prone to shedding difficulties, so they like their humidity to be pretty high. Because of that, you're going to keep them on things like eco earth, sphagnum moss, and orchid bark, things like that. Whereas corn snakes don't like humidity, so they are usually kept on aspen, and they absolutely love to burrow. So they need a very thick layer of aspen so that they can burrow into that substrate. Ball pythons also like it a lot warmer on their hot spot at up to about 96 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas a corn snake is a cooler species that only needs about 85 degrees Fahrenheit to digest his food properly. And for tank sizes, minimum size requirement for a ball python is going to be a 40-gallon breeder, whereas minimum size for a corn snake is actually only a 20-gallon long. Now, I personally don't think that that's enough space for a corn snake. I think as soon as they become an adult, then most of the time they're going to benefit greatly from a bigger tank. But going by bare minimum, corn snakes need a little less room than ball pythons. And neither one of them are going to need any kind of special lighting. So other than just some kind of light in the room or just a small LED light or something on top, they will be wonderful without any kind of UV lighting or anything like that. As for feeding these guys, they are snakes, so they're both going to primarily eat rodents. Obviously, ball pythons are much bigger than corn snakes, so ball pythons will need larger rodents as they become adults, which is more expensive, where corn snakes won't need as large of rodents. Corn snakes are actually notoriously very good eaters, whereas ball pythons are notoriously super finicky eaters. Ball pythons can sometimes go weeks and even months without eating just because they don't feel like it. This can be incredibly stressful, especially if you are a first-time snake owner, because your animal's not eating and you have no idea why. But most of the time they won't lose weight and they just don't want to eat sometimes. Whereas corn snakes are notoriously wonderful eaters. This is another one of those things though where the personality comes into play. I have the most picky corn snake ever. We have to consistently go back and forth between mice and rats for him, and a lot of times he just doesn't eat. But for the most part, corn snakes are really good eaters, and ball pythons tend to be a little more picky. You can see Sylvanas here, she is an adult female, and she has no problems eating at all. Females are going to be thicker than males, but she never has a problem eating. So it's really just what snake you happen to get. But just in general, corn snakes are going to be more ready to eat, whereas ball pythons are going to be more finicky. So basically, whichever snake that you go with, they are pretty similar in terms of how easy they are, handleability, all that stuff. It's really just going to come down to, do you want a thick snake that's going to move very slowly, or do you want a fast and active snake that's active during the day? Do you want a tropical setup, or do you want a dry setup? Do you want to have to deal with a finicky eating ball python, or do you want something that will probably have a much higher feeding drive? That is all on you and what you want in your snake. I personally prefer ball pythons. I like the heavy bodiedness. I don't know, I just like them better. Corn snakes are awesome. We have one. I just personally prefer ball pythons, even though Sterling stresses me out to no end with his eating habits and he consistently has shedding issues. Of the two, I just prefer ball pythons. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give to you if you don't know which one you should go with, if there is a reptile expo near you or a pet store where they have corn snakes and ball pythons, ask to hold them. See which one feels better in your hand. Ask to interact with them, and a lot of times that's all you need to make that final decision for you. Anyway, guys, that is about it for this week's video. If you are not already, please feel free to follow me on my other socials and like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications every single time I put a new video, which is every Sunday and Wednesday. For this week's Instagram shoutouts, thank you so much to Teddy Bear Phil, That One Friend, and Robert Loerta 777 for following me on Instagram, going through and like a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you guys so much. You are the bee's knees. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. And they are very skinny. Hello. Well, hello. Ball pythons love snake ASMR. And neither one of them are going to need any kind of special. She really likes my microphone. I don't know why.